welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Berry, and today we are going to be watching where animals' scientific names come from. Octopus, it's because I am 80 years old. Anyways, let's watch. Today's episode, where animal scientific names come from. Was that distinguished?
Hey kids, I just woke up from a nap I took in January of 2020 and boy
Damn! Wait, he was hibernating!
are my arms tired. Let's see what I missed. Queen's dead, war in Ukraine, the Taliban's back. What is... Holy shit.
Please do not have League of Legends installed on your computer.
They made a movie called Scoob.
Okay, as long as it's Baby Scooby and not, what was his name? Was it Scrappy Doo? I hated that guy as a kid. I literally wanted to punt him as far as I could.
Unprecedented global pandemic, Space Jam 2, some popular guy named Brandon. Yep, that just about covers it. Anyway, we all know about the scientific names of animals, but did you ever wonder what they actually mean? To find out, we must look to taxonomists. They're the guys responsible for the systems of nomenclature we use to classify organisms.
Who is this? Has anybody seen this absolute creature?
And boy, are they convoluted. First, you got the big 8: domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species.
And they're gay.
I've seen plenty of mnemonic devices for this, but since the D just showed up in the 90s and is still disputed by some scientists, he's usually not included. So allow me to suggest a few. Dizzy kids puke cereal on fairground staff. Dumb...
Wait, this is how I remember, what is it, I just opened Photoshop. Oh, there we go. This is how I remember the compass. I'm pretty sure everybody else has their own, but mine is, never eat slimy worms. And I'm not sure if that means non-slimy worms are edible. But I don't know why I remember it like that.
Kittens pushing cups over, feeds growing spite. Donkey Kong's fucking Sarah.
Oh my god! Dude, this is more redacted than the files! What is this?
Serendipitously. The way this whole thing works differs slightly depending on which kingdom you pick. So today we'll be sticking to the animal one, cause that one's the coolest and I'm in it. So what constitutes each taxon is pretty arbitrary. They basically just serve to act as another set of branches in the tree that taxonomists build. The one exception is species, which is generally defined as any group of animals that can have babies with each other that aren't sterile freaks.
Okay, wait. Is it true that when penguinos really like each other, they give each other a rock?
Which is generally defined as any group of animals that can have babies.
Or does that mean they are like rocking each other's world in like the penguin bedroom? Yes? Okay, so maybe like a little bit of both.
With each other that aren't sterile freaks. Mule, liger, zedonk, skunk ape. They can live fulfilling lives, but they're all shooting blanks, so they don't count. On the other hand, in our innumerable trespasses against God, we can make things like chidanedanes, which...
Dude. This is where I'm always a jerk because I hate when people just be like making abominations of dogs. Like pugs. I feel so bad for pugs. They can't even breathe, man. And we did that!
Actually work, so dogs are dogs are dogs. Besides species though, it's the Wild West in here. Plenty of times, 8 tiers isn't even enough for scientists, so they just stick new sub-levels in between. Legions, cohorts, tribes, series, divisions, and if you want to keep going, you can throw all kinds of prefixes on any of these for even more layers.
Micro? You never want to hear that.
There's even subspecies, which the more pedantic of you may think to yourselves that creating names for subspecies at all kind of undermines the single somewhat agreed upon definition in the whole tree. To that, my friends taxonomists say, But while that's pretty complex, the actual names themselves are pretty easy to wrap your head around. Though taxonomists may hide behind their fancy Greek and Latin, the Vulgate is no substitute for wit. Now, I've scraped through the scientific names of a load of species, and most of them can be split into a few categories. The simplest ones are the animals that already have names in Greek or Latin.
I'm trying to think of who this stick man reminds me of. Is it like Scott the Woz? Scott the Stickman. Stickman the Waz.
It's a lion, I'm calling it Leo. Done. Tiger, it's a tigris. Cat, it's a caddis. Easy. Multi-word names can be translated the same way. For the golden eagle, we got Aquila chrysaetos. Gold eagle. They decided to be a show-off and do eagle in Greek and Latin. Essentially the same though. But if a species is too specific or exotic for a one-to-one translation, that's when you gotta get a little creative. A lot of the time, inspiration comes from just giving the creature the old once-over and
Do you think there's still like 9 more billion more creatures and we can go and find them and then name them? But like, you want to be good with the naming conventions because I hate whenever there's like an Ego Andy. Like in speedrunning, there's a lot of Ego Andys and they'll be like, oh, this is the BerryCrepe skip. Why? Call it something funny!
pointing out some cool looking body part. Generally, the more distinct of an identifying feature it is, the more likely it'll get in the name. For example, Homeboy took one look at this thing and said, yup, red triangle slug.
I mean, I guess I would have called him like Delta Slug. Wait, that's like a Metal Gear thing.
I'm going on break. We call this thing a fucking unicorn, almost like that means one horn or something. Also, some guy deadass looked at an octopus and said, well, all they got is heads and feet.
That's not true. We also have heart.
I'm gonna call him Headfoot. And
Nobody ever call me that. I already know exactly what's going to happen for the rest of the stream. No.
biologists everywhere say cephalopod unironically. Matter of fact, if it's got feet, chances are that's part of its name somewhere. You got 4 feet, 6 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet, 2 feet, equal feet, both feet, double feet, stomach feet, lip feet, sucker feet, wing feet, big feet, slow feet, or feet, both feet, joint feet, no feet, 10,000 feet, cow's feet, spade feet, cat feet, small feet. If it doesn't look that interesting,
Wait, I want the full version. That's like trucker jams. I'm gonna be eating some like filled combos. Driving up to the Loves.
Another thing to point out is where you found it. This could be a territory like American bear or Siamese crocodile, or just a habitat like woods macaque or toilet rat.
Okay, wait, his name's really Macaque? Yeah, I'm fine with Headfoot. Macaque is way worse. Also, Vino, thanks for gifting Headfoot. Can we get a creepy in the Jeffer Vino and Headfoot? Thank you.
But that's boring. We need to look at the men behind the magic and what drives and motivates them. Now, if there's one thing that the scientific community loves, it's clout. And there's no better way to go down in history than plastering your own name on some
What did I say? I already knew it was exactly going to this. And who would have thought Dark Souls 3 would have taught me about ego?
shit you found. But not all fields have the same volume of things to scribble the old John Hancock over. On the one end, you got physicists just making up their own slightly different form of ionizing radiation measurement. And even then, only the top dogs got away with it. Now, zoology, any little goober flouncing through the underbrush can say, this one has 13 spots, but the one in the book's only got 11. I will call him Splinkus's ladybird. Alternatively, plenty of biologists have given shout-outs to their contemporaries, both other biologists and those across the academic gamut from
Oh, okay, you can like dual queue the naming conventions. That's kind of cute. Like, what if you proposed to somebody, but it was with an animal? Okay, not releasing a lion on your soon-to-be wife, but being like, I found this and I named it after you.
biologists to physicists to explorers and more. Naturally, Darwin's got a shitload, but even the background characters get immortalized one way or another. Who are Thompson, Grant, Summering, Erland.
Divorce? What? That's not romantic? What if she says no? Well, you better hope there's only one so that way you can make sure they're extinct.
Speak and Cuvier? I don't know, but they've all got gazelles, so they must be pretty cool. Of course, other times the name checks go to people who had fuck all to do with anything except for one taxonomist being a fan of theirs. Plenty of popular celebrities have species named after them, but since all the big cute stuff was found and branded a while ago, most of these idols are commemorated through repulsive little invertebrates. You got Scaptia, Beyonce.
Okay, white, kind of slim, thick, with a nice big butt.
The only similarity I can gather here is queen bee. Looks like a bee, both not
Oh, I was looking at the booby. Wait, the booty!
a real bee. There's Anomphilus gregarius, an old stone named after an old stone. In 2007, one Jason Bond, a professor of biology at UC Davis, dubbed this little dude Myrmecia Neil Youngie to honor his favorite musician, which caused my man Stephen Colbert to go on TV and profess his utter indignation at not having a spider
I'll do that too. Where's my spider? Where's my spider?
named after himself. So naturally, the next year, Bond actually went on the Colbert Report to announce the naming of apostatist Stephen Colbert. So, that
We kind of like did it together on that one. Oh, I'll take it.
gives any of you epic biologists out there any ideas, you know, I wouldn't be opposed. Please, I would do anything. For the love of God, I'll even take a lichen. The world of politics is by no means immune to this phenomenon. Obama alone has fucking 9, as do a load of other.
Oh my God. Thank you, Obama. We got Obamadon gracilis, Paragordius Obami, Tosinodis Obama, Telegramma Obamorium. That sounds crazy. Kalpalaka Obami, Baraka Tremra Obami, Esotama Obama.
Presidents. Trump's got a moth with funny hair, Bush has a fungus beetle, Reagan's a wasp, Carter's got a darter, and so forth. Even Austria's most famous painter got the honor through this blind cave beetle. Mind you, it was 1933, so you can only blame the guy a tiny bit. Hitler actually wrote him a letter saying, "Oh, thank you, my little entomolomensch," and then went on to do, you know, Hitler things. Fun.
Okay, at least he said thank you before he did that, so maybe they're like not associated and he wasn't thinking of the bug the entire time. I don't know.
In fact, not only was this beetle stuck with just about the worst name you could have, it's also now facing extinction solely because of its value to Nazi memorabilia collectors. Guess old habits die hard. Oh, fictional characters that
He was on the line.
their fair share of species under their belt. On the topic of evil beetles, this one's named after Darth Vader because he kind of looks like his helmet, I guess. This was actually named by the same guy who did the Bush one and belongs to the same genus. There's also this mite, genus Darth Vader.
Oh, these aren't like the mites that are on your eyeballs, right? Dude, I saw somebody on TikTok who is like, what are they called? Ophthalmologists, the ones that look at your eyeballs. And he said that it's hard whenever you look at somebody's eyes and you have to pretend you don't see the mites. Apparently, they're just like crawling around straight up, like not paying rent.
Which is a lot more accurate and frightening. In 2012, a single bone from above the eye socket of a hitherto unidentified theropod dinosaur was being studied. And suddenly, under the light of the full moon, the guy working with the specimen had his neck covered with hair and his lips clench into a pog and his endocrine system fill with soy. And he said, "It's just like the eye of Sauron." And then he started chewing on Funko Pops and
Dude, I try not to hate on Funko Pops every single time I see them because it must suck being a Funko Pop enjoyer, like everybody just dogging on you all the time. And like, this is coming from me. Like, I used to collect amiibos. I am not any better than a Funko Pop collector.
Sweating cream of meme and snorting G Fuel and shitting D20s everywhere until the prostate stimulation made him. The dino's genus is now Soraniops from...
Huh? Wait.
20s everywhere until the prostate stimulation made him. The dino's
made him finish his essay. Yeah, and submit the paperwork. Yeah.
genus is now Soraniops from Eye of Sauron. This spider was named after Godric Gryffindor because it looks like the Sorting Hat. SpongeBob has not a sponge, but a fungus. The legendary birds from Pokemon each have their own, you guessed it, beetle. And
okay, wait, we got Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres.
the list goes on. Scientists are nerds. Who knew? Anyway, while this all seems kind of chaotic, there is some method to the madness. One rule is the principle of priority. This states that once somebody publishes their chosen name for a species for the first time, that's the name, and other taxonomists typically can't change it. This has led to plenty of misnomers coined by whoever got their foot in the door first, particularly in the case of the guys doing this stuff before we had the luxury of genetic analysis. Here's one. Red Panda.
Oh, what do you think his name was? Mischievous Booger. Debbie!
Nah, Shining Cat, coined in 1825. To be fair, they're actually about as close to cats as they are to actual pandas, so whatever. Here's 2. Capsicum chinense. Eaten there? Sure. Native? Only off by around half a globe, where literally all hot peppers came from. This principle holds.
I don't even like hot peppers. I'm just not a pepper fan. I think it's just because I am like aggressively white and anything is spicy to me other than Tony Chachere's.
True, even if someone thinks they've found a new species, only to later discover that it was already named. For example, in 1824, one John Edward Gray documented the plain zebra, calling it...
Aren't zebras also just total assholes? Like, apparently they're way meaner than you are led to believe. And he got to be in Madagascar for what? He was nice in that movie. I mean, sure, he said sugar honey iced tea, but apparently they just be like spamming slurs in the wild.
Equus burchellii, or Burchell's horse, named after a renowned naturalist of the day. Little did he know, back in 1785, some other douche classified this character as the quagga. The last quagga died in...
Wait, the way he says it is actually so cute. It just seems like it'd be somebody's gamer tag.
in a Dutch prison in 1883. So why do we care? Well, in the 2000s, scientists decided to scrape some gunk off a dry quagga pelt and study its DNA. And from that they realized, wait a minute, apparently this guy and zebras could have, you know, made a little plaid in the hay together. So technically they're one species. And today they're both called quagga.
Okay, well, am I allowed to say that?
Sounds kinda asinine, but then again, so does asinus, and that worked out fine. Just to maintain the distinction, the extinct subspecies was renamed quagga quagga, so you know
it's not better when it's one after the other. I don't think I'm allowed to say it. I mean, there's no hard R, but it's on the line.
the real quagga. This double naming convention has been done with a lot of subspecies, in fact. Wild horse, spotted panther, or my favorite, gorilla. Just like, yeah. Yeah, it's the gorillest gorilla that ever gorilled. Fuck you want from me. A closely related rule also states that the names of all taxa have to be unique. So if two people coincidentally name any
Garfield. Wait, isn't this Mr. Beast? Like, isn't somebody like posting this picture with Mr. Beast head on it? Do you know what I'm talking about? Dude, there is a Mr. Beast image that looks exactly like this. That's not XQC.
taxa on the same thing. The older one gets to stay, and the new one gets the boot. Like if you saw a genus called Echidna, you'd think it was...
I'd think it had 3 penors spiked and loves a Batwoman with huge naturals.
You know, an echidna, right? Well, no, that'd make too much sense. For a while it was true, from 1797 to 1811. Then it was pointed out that someone else already called a genus of moray eels echidna back in 1788. So the...
How does that happen? Like, that's just kind of a random gamer tag. Like, how did they both pick the same tag? Like, maybe the new one would be XX Echidna XX.
The real echidna had to be changed to Tachyglossus, or quick tongue. Then a decade later, a dude did the same thing for a genus of vipers. Another 22 years passed, people discovered the same thing, and they were renamed to Bitis, cause they bit us. That one at least made a bit of sense, given that the original echidna from Greek mythology was half lady, half snake, but who cares at this point? Anyway, I've just barely scraped the surface of all the goofy names out there, so feel free to post more down below. That's all.
Anybody in chat or anybody in the YouTube comment section have a goofy name? And then also, like, what is the maiden name of your mother? And what street did you grow up on? And what high school did you graduate from?
All I've got for now. Till next time, I'm Salmonella, and I'll see ya in 2025.
If you liked this video, please subscribe. If you didn't, that's cool too. Any ideas for future videos, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. I super appreciate it. If you're new here, please come to the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/BerryCrepe, and use code Berry for 10% off your gamer subs order. It would be super helpful. I hope you have a great evening. Goodbye, YouTube. Goodbye.